is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Mike in Southern California. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, nice to talk to you again. And I have to start out and first tell you, I love this trading room. This thing is great. This app, it works great. And getting all your information, you're like instantly there. No delay, nothing. That's
I know.
great.
I appreciate you growling problem with us.
Your channel is in my pocket all day long. It's wonderful.
Thank you, man.
Again.
Thank you.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Monday afternoon, final hour of the trading day, and we got markets right near session highs. Right now, S&P's up by about 28 points, or 0.4% in the green. We hit a high yesterday, Friday, 6,800, and just recently we got to a high of 67.97 and 75 cents. You're talking about 2 points away from all-time highs as we charge higher. AMD, we're going to get to AMD on their deal. You talk about an acceleration with OpenAI. NASDAQ 100, tech stocks trading higher. That's an all-time high on the futures, folks. Just got there. In the last half hour, 25,252. How's that for the twos and the fives? 25,252. You're up by about 1% in the NASDAQ 100. Dow, not participating. This is an AI rally. Dow in the red by 82 points. And the Russell up by 12. Bitcoin, all-time highs. How about it? 126,730. We're up 2.5%. Ethereum up 4.2%. Ethereum not quite up to those highs of 48.80 that we had in August, but we're trading right now 47.42 for Ethereum. Crude 61.71. We get a little bit of a pop from Friday's action. Gold, you talk about it, folks. Look at this expansion, man, and you're doing it with volume. Okay, gold just keeps going. Up $79 or 2% at $39.87. You take a look at the weekly on gold. Now, it doesn't show any volume this week yet, but look at the ramp up. Just keeps happening, man. All right, last week's volume, the most volume this market has had since April 21st. Jump over to silver. Look at the silver volume last week. Even more pronounced, right? Silver, that's the most weekly volume the silver contracts traded since April of last year. Okay, that's not the April volatility and tariffs. That's April of last year when metals really started ratcheting higher. You put it back to a daily, and look at just the concentrated volume up here on this acceleration. Today, 77,000 contracts. We'll see how silver on the daily, but strong numbers across the board on metals. We jump to yields. Lower price, higher yield. The 10-year right now, about 4.18, 4.17. We're ticking around. Lower price, higher yield. You're down by 10 ticks, so 4.17, the yield on the 10-year. Higher yield. And we were with a stronger dollar, and we back off a bit. We do have higher yields, but look at that run early this morning, right? 98.50. Even with higher yields, weakness in this dollar. As yields are at the highs for the day, and the dollar right now is 40 cents off the high. 98.11 on that dollar. Okay. There's AMD, 25% higher, but we're approaching the intraday lows. You're up to 227 on this equity. You're up by $41. Now you jump over to AMD. You're talking about a company with about 1.6 billion shares outstanding. You're up $40. That's going to put it somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $65 billion market cap ad. You're at $333 billion. You came in at about 270 yesterday, maybe 265. So tremendous ad, up 25%. You jump over to NVIDIA, and we'll jump to the article. You're down by $1.72 or almost 0.9%. 25 billion shares outstanding. So NVIDIA's market cap off about 50 billion, right? So AMD's market cap up 65 billion, NVIDIA's market cap down by about 45 billion, somewhere in that range. We jump around some of the other tech stocks. Google catching a bid, up by almost $5, up 2%. These tech stocks, man. Amazon was dramatically lower and got it all back. That's a $5 move to 221.48. The acceleration on the open. We jumped to some of the other AI players. Oracle up by more than 2% today right now. You jump over to Broadcom. Look at that volatility on that news. Broadcom off by 0.5% right now. MetaShares gets it all back. That's a $25 move in both directions. Down to $6.90, back to $7.15 right now. All right, let's jump over to the headline. So AMD inks a deal with OpenAI that triggers an explosive rally. Now, OpenAI, for making this deal, OpenAI is going to deploy 6 gigawatts worth of AMD graphics processing. Folks, a gigawatt is like a million houses, okay? Let's look at it. It's 750,000 to a million houses. Yeah, 1 gigawatt can power approximately 750,000 homes, okay? And of course, it varies, but that's what you're talking about. And this deal is 6 of them, worth of AMD graphics processing units over multiple years. It's going to start next year. And for that deal, they get 160 million warrants. Where is it? And there's different tranches. There it is. They'll have the ability to buy as many as 160 million, depending on hitting certain milestones. That's 10% of the outstanding stock. I just went over how they have 1.6 billion shares, right? And they just gave AMD 160 million options, warrants, at different price tranches. The final level is 600. So if it hits 600, they get everything. Okay, and there's certain other areas that are predicated on certain milestones. The first one is reaching, I think, 1 gigawatt, and they reach the first tranche. You know, this industry is getting a lot of attention for the circulatory nature of all the investments, right? You know, last week we had OpenAI investing in NVIDIA. NVIDIA buys Oracle. It just goes on and on. And now you get it here. But look at the difference in these numbers, man. NVIDIA, they're in a world of their own. AMD doesn't even show up on these. Now, this is quarterly numbers, okay? And it's pretty remarkable you don't show up when you're doing $3 billion almost. AMD's revenue is projected to reach $6.55 billion when you're talking about this data center revenue this year. Well, they're hoping to get up to the $100 billion mark by using this. Yeah, and under the agreement, the AMD stock will vest when the first gigawatt of computing is deployed, and that's going to start in the second half of next year. AMD MI450 chips, and then they're going to get further generations of those chips going down the line. Quite a number. Up by 25% to 206. Markets in the green. We're coming back with our man Steve Rhodes, folks. Don't go away.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstad's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's up by 26 right now. We get the NASDAQ 100 up by a full percentage, up 236 points. And right now, folks, we're going to talk to our man Steve Rhodes, as we do each and every Monday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out Steve's outstanding program, folks, The Trader's Edge, every day, 11 a.m. right here on TFNN Tiger TV. And check out his daily newsletter, Mastering Probability, folks. You can head on over the front page of TFNN, right under that newsletter tab, hit that subscribe button. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, folks, whether you sign up for a month or 149, or you save some money, 22% on the 6 month or 33 on the year. Check it out, and you get a number of great webinars when you do that, and it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Can't go wrong. Steve Rhodes, good afternoon.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Good to be with you.
Good to talk to you, man. How was your weekend?
It was a wonderful weekend, another weekend of good, they forecasted, you know what the weather people are like here in Florida. I think it's just a swag, because they were saying it's going to be raining.
Go ahead. They got me Saturday. Go ahead, Steve. Yeah.
Well, they said it was going to be raining all weekend, so I figured, there's going to be no sports, no golf going outside like that. It was a perfect weekend. In fact, Saturday was great. It was a kind of cool down here, comparatively speaking. Yesterday, went ahead and made the adjustment. We got back to humidity, but hey, how about your Buccaneers?
Those little glimpses, right? That that the heat and the humidity are abating a bit for sure.
Yeah. How about
this
your Tampa
market
Bay Buccaneers?
Not abating just yet. What do you think, man?
Well, okay. So with regard to the market, here's what I wanted to do. I got a couple of different emails. So I had to go back and take a look at see what the folks were talking about. Paul Tudor Jones was on CNBC this morning. And so the key points that he made, he said that today's market, in his mind, is reminiscent of the setup leading up to the bubble, the dot-com bubble back in 1999. It's the difference between now and 99 is some monetary policies and so forth. But he's suggesting that the market still has more room to run before we get to that bubble out there. So I thought, and the questions that people sent in is how high will the market go? When will we know? If there's logical questions, right? So he just said, hey, sure, we're likely to continue to head higher out there. And I think in the game of stock market musical chairs, the real question is, and what I focus my time on, is how will we know when the music is stopped? And some people, again, a couple of emails that came in, could I give them a price projection as to where the markets are going out there? And that's how some folks would take a look at it. For that, I would have to maybe rely on these horizontal trading ranges, diagonal channels, and so forth. But I really believe, Tommy, that the better answer isn't how high will it go. Continue to stay long, play it until we actually can identify market tops. And what I mean by that is if we go back to 1999, 1929. I realize that Paul Tudor Jones had referenced the 2000 top, and we'll take a look at it. But if I go back and we take a look at major tops out there, one thing that they have in common, and if you watch the Trader's Edge show, you know that we take a look at when somebody calls in and has a request for a stock, we take a look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly time frame. Monthly giving us a much bigger, broader view. The weekly is kind of an intraday chart for the monthly time frame, the daily and intraday chart, if you will, for the weekly. The importance of going back and doing that, if we take a look at what was present at the Dow in 1929 when it made a top for its daily, its weekly, and its monthly time frame. And the answer is each of those had Rhodes momentum indicator tops. It's a 5-step process. I teach subscribers. Those folks that aren't familiar with this pattern or listening to the show, as you know, they can sign up, subscribe to Mastering Probability for 29 days. You're going to get access to the courses that teach this pattern out there, and it basically costs them nothing. But the point that I want to make, and I've drawn the blue arrows here, each of these are Rhodes momentum indicator tops. They get confirmed. At a top, they get confirmed with bearish reversal candles out there. So on the daily time frame, I've got the arrow that points to the confirmation of that top. I've got the same thing on the weekly. The weekly, when it actually topped, was to the week, right to the week. It was a key reversal bar. I have explained that to folks in the past. And the monthly time frame was just a good old-fashioned bearish engulfing candle that confirmed that Rhodes momentum indicator top. So when major tops form, we will see topping patterns for its daily, its weekly, and its monthly time frame. So that was 1929. Any questions, Tommy, about the 1929 tops?
I like the historical. No, let's keep it going. I'm watching totally.
So now let's just go right to the 2000 tops that Paul Tudor Jones was referencing. When it made its highs, if you take a look at the daily time frame, you'll see a bear sash, you'll see a black diagonal line. That black diagonal line is referencing the Rhodes momentum indicator topping pattern, and that's being confirmed with a bearish reversal candle. Bear sash is one of those. That identified it in essence right to the day after the actual top. If you look at the weekly time frame, it was also a Rhodes momentum indicator top that was formed with a bear sash candle. You can sort of see the black diagonal line. That's the pattern that's present. The same thing on the monthly time frame. Here we get a nice dark cloud cover candle there. So the daily, the weekly, and the monthly time frame charts, and that's why I show it during the shows when we take a look at instruments out there. If it works for the indices, it's going to work for everything out there. And we could spend hours taking a look at it. Here's the 2007 top. In 2007, on a daily time frame, a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. The weekly generated the same thing. That was about 6 to 8 weeks before the actual top, before the actual bearish reversal candle formed on a weekly basis. In the case of the monthly time frame, it was right away. It was also a TD9 count top. That's another pattern, as you know, that I teach the subscribers out there. So again, major tops, we're going to see a daily, a weekly, and a monthly time frame chart that has those topping patterns. So let's fast forward to today, right? Because by now, that should be the question in everybody's mind. Where are we at today? When we take a look, now this was a snapshot taken a half an hour ago. If we look at the daily time frame, there's a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that's present. That's that black diagonal line, Tommy, but no bearish reversal candle. Without a bearish reversal candle, we do not have a top. The weekly time frame does have bar number 8 of a TD9 count. And so that has the potential to form a top between this week and next week. But the monthly time frame, no topping pattern whatsoever. So what does it mean if we've got one top but not all three? It means we could be getting ready for some type of intermediate or shorter term time frame retracement that could last 1 to 4 weeks out there. It could just be 1 to 4 days out there. So fast forward to where we're at today. No doubt, no confirmed completed Dow tops. The TD9 count pattern won't confirm until this Friday. So, but it looks like it's pretty solid right now. If we take a look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 no top on the daily time frame. It does have a TD9 count top that's going to complete this week. Nothing on the monthly. Where we're getting all the signals from, Tommy, is from the weekly time frame. Here's the NDX 100. You'll see this is going to complete a TD9 count top for its weekly time frame. Look how far the monthly has to go. It's got a simple 1-to-1 price projection up at the 28,000 level.
Amazing.
We're nowhere near that. The daily time frame, no top is well out here at this moment in time. If we take a look at the semiconductor index, it does have a wave number 7 top. That's one of Basil Chapman's tools out there. It's got a weekly TD9 count top that's going to confirm this week, complete next week. Monthly time frame still has much more to go. No topping signal as we speak right now for it. So my take is that, and this is the question you asked, what's my take in the markets? My take in the markets are that we are going to continue to move higher, that we do not have the signals present that suggest that we are anywhere near a major, major top. If we're going to see that, we're going to see those tops form in a daily, weekly, and monthly time frame, and I suggest that's the best way to identify how far is the market going to go. Not come up with a price objective, just realize how markets actually top.
Quite a trend, man. It really is, on a longer term basis. And I love how you lay it out in the, short term, intermediate, long term. And boy, these longer term charts, I was looking at Microsoft has, you made me think those A to B, C to D, or that expansion, man. Microsoft's got an A to B, C to D, bring you up to like $600. We're at 528 maybe. So it's remarkable.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing. And that's pattern recognition.
Folks, check it out, okay? Mastering Probability. You get those webinars. You get Steve's outstanding newsletter for 30 days. Go check it out. Steve, thanks so much. We'll see you on the program tomorrow, man. Have a great day.
You bet, Tommy.
Thanks. We'll be right back, folks.
Trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Always a great conversation with our man, Steve Rhodes. And check out Mastering Probability, folks. Just an outstanding number of webinars included that Steve has done for his subscribers. With that, he talks about many of the indicators that he talked about right there in that segment within those webinars, so you can understand them as he was talking about, and you get the newsletter risk-free for that entire month with a money-back guarantee. And when he was talking about, the monthly, right? You know, some of these moves, man, now that's a weekly, but it's going back on a longer-term basis. You can take the monthly in the same way. And the monthly for Microsoft, the one I was talking about there, right? Look how you break above this on Microsoft. Your A point is the run from the beginning of January 23, about 220, 219.35. Your B point is up here at 468. That's about a $250. Yeah, almost a $250 A to B leg. You pull back, and a $250 B to C leg would bring you up to almost 600. And the coolest part about this is, check out. Yeah, you broke there, but look at the volume you had in May. Now, April's going to dwarf everything because of the tariff volatility. But May, you do 477 million shares above the 440 you did at the high. So you break above the B point, you do it with volume, right? You take out the 440 million. That's on a monthly. You go back to the weekly. Yeah, you didn't have much volume at these highs to take it out too, right? Look at this weekly, 92 million. You dropped off. I think that was a holiday. Yeah, July holiday week. 87 million. They got a high out there, 468. Let's see how you take it out. Yeah, it was one of these other numbers, but on a monthly basis, which is what caught my eye on Steve, because saying, those monthlies, that's a perfect A to B, C to D, breaking above the B point. You break it out, you do it with volume on Microsoft, and they're not the only one in this market. Now, check back on AMD. I mean, look at how these A to B, C to Ds complete, and you're breaking above it. So this thing did an A to B, C to D, completes at about 175, gets parabolic before you give it up, and then you broke out of that channel. And this is going to be tremendous volume because it's October 6th, and you've already done 365 million. More than a third of the volume you did all last month. There's your daily. Pay attention to Oracle, AMD, the give back on these. Great stocks, but shorter term, probably didn't deserve a $61 price appreciation today on that news. It's a big deal. So AMD inks an investment with OpenAI today, right? Back it up a couple weeks ago, and this was your headline, right? OpenAI and NVIDIA announced a strategic partnership. Now, AMD is a competitor of NVIDIA, folks, okay? There are risks here. I don't know how this is working in the C-suites, but it's working. Of course it's working. They're all going up, right? NVIDIA, as part of the deal that they did in OpenAI in the last 2 weeks, intends to invest up to $100 billion in OpenAI. Okay? And again, they're going to release these as each gigawatt is deployed. Okay? But you got to imagine that NVIDIA is investing $100 billion in OpenAI, and then OpenAI is immediately taking that and doing a deal with their competitor for a 10% stake with that $100 billion. The NVIDIA deal was 10 gigawatts. This one is 6. In no other industry, folks, do you have, businesses doing deals like that and then using the funds that you're funneling into a business to basically do a deal the next week practically with one of your biggest competitors. They got a deal going with Intel as well. This industry needs so much expansion that they're not worried about competition to a certain degree. Everybody is. But that's what's happening here. There's an acceleration. Nobody really cares about it. And the circulatory nature, it's not like the dot-com bubble, folks, but you better believe it's a risk. Yeah, it's a big one. All right. Gold, Bitcoin. Surge on concerns over global debt pile is what the headline says, but either way, they're both just continuing to skyrocket. Gold right now up more than 2%. We hit $39.94. Primed and ready for that 4,000 on the futures. And Bitcoin, man. 127,000. Now, if you haven't checked out Steve's outstanding program, The Trader's Edge, folks, okay, at 11 o'clock every day. I do the program at 9 in the morning. The morning market kickoff. I'm in Basil Chapman, Tiger Technicians Hour at 10 a.m. Steve Rhodes at 11 a.m. Fast Market at 12. Larry Pesavento at 1. And I'm back at 3. But what Steve always talks about, and he always has, and it's such a great way to look at things, especially when you're talking about commodities, since commodities are global, folks. Stocks are too, but you better believe commodities are. And gold, okay, all we really care about is how they're priced in dollars. That's all we give you the price of. But Steve looks at it in all the different currencies. And what his charts show you, okay, is that this run recently just has gold crushing it in almost every single currency, okay? And the reason why is because this run has started since gold was chopping around near this. I'm just talking about the run from 3,400, okay, not going back to last February. But this recent acceleration, which is almost 20%, okay, you just traded from 3,350 about. I mean, even if you back it up to July, you were at 3,300 on the dot there on the futures. How's that for a nice round number, okay? 3,300, we're pushing 6,000. You're up $700, right? Whew, even more. Yeah, even more than 20% up from where we were almost at the start of August. But during that period of time, okay, dollar hasn't done anything. We had this volatility over here, okay, but we've just been chopping around, right? What did I just show you? The run really in gold started around the 20th of August, which we're right where we were. Okay, this is not about a weak dollar, this acceleration recently. This is about gold, period, which is what you want when you want to extend higher. Now, the other part of that is, boy, we're getting a little lofty here at 4,000, folks. There's going to be an area where there's going to be sellers. There's no sellers right now, okay? That's what's driving it. No matter how many buyers, you don't need a lot of buyers when you have no sellers. And there are no sellers, rightfully so. No one's ditching their gold right now. $4,000 an ounce, though, or 28 grams in an ounce of gold. Okay? You're talking about, man, people are going to start trading in their jewelry again, rightfully so. $142 a gram of gold. A gram, not an ounce. $142 for a gram. 28 grams in an ounce. Gold, $39.86. Come right back, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Thank you to my producer, Al. Somehow I was muted there. We got the S&Ps right now up by 26 points. You take a look at the A to B, C to D. So we talked about Microsoft. A little bit of a different setup in the S&Ps, but pretty remarkable. That pullback, you did it all again. The 1-to-1 A to B, C to D brings you to about 6,900. We're trading at 67.89. We hit 6,800 on the dot yesterday. Check out the NASDAQ 100. Okay, that would bring you in the NASDAQ 100. Yeah, how's that? 28,400. We're 25,000 and change right now. I'm going to take that shorter term one off. So on longer term basis, right? You know, and again, you break above it pretty dramatically right now. That doesn't mean it's happening, folks. Today, tomorrow, but boy, as Steve lays it out, there's nothing on these charts right now that's saying this is going to stop anytime soon. Valuation-wise, the circular nature of AI, I mean, you look at the deal with Oracle, right? That entire acceleration from Oracle on their earnings was 1 week removed from that. So you go down the line. OpenAI and Oracle have a $300 billion Stargate deal. OpenAI's $300 billion agreement with Oracle, 4.5 gigawatts, right, of Stargate data center capacity. 100 data center regions globally. And so what's amazing is you get that deal with Oracle getting a huge boost, okay, from OpenAI. And I know I'm harping on it, but you got to walk your brain through these relationships, right? So Oracle gets a $300 billion order, okay, blows away earnings. Let's put it back to the daily so you can really see the run it had on that 1 day, right? You almost did a 1 day A to B, C to D, folks. And that A to B, C to D was from 118 up to 264. Okay, you blow it away with volume. And the one thing I will say is, each day this trails lower, volume lightens up. It's not as many sellers as there were. Okay, 345 was irrational at that point. 290 doesn't seem much as so. We're not getting the type of selling on the way down as you keep creeping. Now, so they get that $300 billion deal with OpenAI, and what do? Well, they have to build data centers. That's their deal. So where do they get those data centers? What do? Well, guess what? They go buy more NVIDIA chips, right? And then what does NVIDIA do? Well, NVIDIA says, oh, that's great. that Oracle needs to build data centers. They're going to need our chips. They have customers down the line that are going to use those data centers. Oracle's building out Oracle cloud infrastructure. They're going to build data centers. OpenAI's made a deal to pay him $300 billion. That's great. Oracle has to go buy NVIDIA chips to build out those data centers. When they go buy the NVIDIA chips to build out the data centers, right, NVIDIA's stock goes up. And when NVIDIA's stock goes up, NVIDIA says, you know what? I'm going to invest $100 billion with OpenAI. OpenAI says, that's great, because we just invested with Oracle. Oracle is buying your chips. Now you're going to invest with us. And then the last kicker today, okay, is that OpenAI then says, you know what, we should bring in your competitors, NVIDIA. I'm going to make a deal with them. They're going to give me 10% warrant. I'm going to give $100 billion. And yeah, but it is a risk. The money should be coming from outside of this ecosystem if it was that easy, right? If the investments themselves, and I say easy, if they warranted the investments, right? If you weren't part of the ecosystem that's going to somehow benefit from the chamber of reverberating investments, the outside capital will be flowing as easily. And it's not flowing as easily. And so that's something that has the spikes up a little bit at these valuations. And it should, folks. Okay? NVIDIA is 20 times the company it was less than 3 years ago. Oracle, my goodness. Mr. Ellison, you're talking about a run, nothing like that, but from 58 to almost 300 right now over those last few years as well. Now, what's remarkable is you look at Broadcom, okay? Broadcom, 58 to 336, almost a run parallel to Oracle. Broadcom right now, you're talking about a company that's a $1.6 trillion company, Broadcom. We didn't have a $1 trillion company, folks, I think until 1999. Now, the world has changed dramatically, okay? Inflation is one thing. I mean, just inflationary since we hit that trillion mark. It's been about Broadcom itself, $1.6 trillion. Jump over to AMD. We're talking about a number, $333 billion right now. And, of course, NVIDIA, a little bit lower today. I mean, in any other business sector, imagine that NVIDIA is making deals with OpenAI, and then immediately you have OpenAI making deals with their competitor, sending NVIDIA lower. And somehow there's no pushback among these companies. All right, we jump over to power. Nuclear power, CCJ, giving back some of it, but yeah, the power stocks, right? Look at the acceleration, man. Okay, they're in on the fun as well. Cameco, up another 1.6%. We hit $88 earlier. You look at the run this thing's on. Past the 1 to 1.618 expansion. That's your weekly. You know. It's been a heck of a run, folks. All right. If you're not in this for the next years, right, then I encourage you to put a line in the sand on some of these equities. Okay. Cameco is one of them. You're not holding it for years. And listen, longer term, you better believe nuclear is a good spot to be in. Okay. The power we need, all these gigawatts. When Back to the Future, right? To time travel, they needed 1.21 gigawatts of power. 1.21 gigawatts. It was an astronomical amount of power, right? That they didn't even have access to at that time. And now they're doing deals for 6 gigawatts, 10 gigawatts. Energy is the limiting factor right now. You got Cameco. On a monthly basis, 101 million. Yeah, we take out the highs, but look at that June acceleration. That's a monthly. Let's look at the weekly volume. Oof. Well, that was the week, September 15th. You hit a high of 86.84 out there. We're under that mark. Can't get above it with volume. Cameco bumping up, but not today. Up another 1.6%. And longer term, nuclear. It's here to stay. And it should be. We need energy, folks. When you do it right, that's the part. Where you're going to do it, when you're going to do it right, but nuclear energy. S&Ps. All right. We got 10 minutes left to go, but we might hit an all-time high. We're only 8 points away right now. S&P's up by 28 points. We'll come right back, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We have the NASDAQ 100 up by 0.8%, all-time highs today. S&P's just off that level. We got 5 minutes left to go in trading, and you're about 7 points away from all-time highs, so you might get there by that 4 o'clock closing bell. Dow, negative by 41 points. You jump around to the heat map, you got the S&P's right now. Yeah, how about AMD? Glowing green, right? Microsoft, Google, Tesla up 5.3. Let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, quite the end of the week last week. You trade lower. They come out with their deliveries last Thursday. They beat the market, but they trade low to 416. You're bouncing right now. Tesla up by $23. You take a look at the volume. Yeah, that was a lot of selling on those 2 days that you're coming into on Tesla. Check it out. 137 million and 133 million. We've only done 76, and that's a huge acceleration today. Oof. Yeah, it's been a trade lower all day on AMD. Not what you want to see, closing at the tick low. Still up by a remarkable $39. All right, we'll finish it up with a little football. How about those Patriots last night? My Buffalo Bills friends, that was a tough one, but gotta love those bats, man. Drake May, final. It's nice. I stayed up for a game this time, and there was not a tie. There was no tie. I think last week when I was talking to Steve, was it last Sunday night? I think it was. I stayed up and that was the tie, right? Boy, well, they finished it, followed it up with a great one, 23-20, some great, and I'm biased, okay, because, boy, that game and the Tampa Bay game, the Baker Mayfield, some great games overall this weekend. The Cardinals game, those Arizona Cardinals, that loss, something else, man. Sports. Great weekend of football. All right, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in to TFNN today. Have a great night. Have a safe night. Enjoy your evening out there. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for the morning market kickoff. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.